Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 536, we're going to talk about Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. Man, I love the demigods, and more importantly, I really love the constellation treatment that they did to them. Those are beautiful. I've been buying a bunch of them just because if I got my choice, I'm going to use the constellation one. Anyway, 2 star, its toughness is equal to your devotion to white. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, that's beautiful, you gain 1 life. Because, sure enough, most of the time when you put a creature into play at some point in time, it's going to die. So you're going to gain life, literally coming and going. So the very first thing I thought of was Soul Sisters. And I guess now we're going to have to say Soul Siblings. But anyway, so that is Soul's Attendant. It's going to gain life when a creature enters the battlefield. Soul Warden, same thing. Suture Priest is the same thing, but it's got a little extra there to where your opponent's, hurt to do it. Impassioned Orator, or Orator, whichever. Another creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life. Actually, this is under your control. And then, so we're obviously gaining life, we're running Congregate, we're running Staff of the Sun Magus, just life gain. So, naturally, the best 2-drop in a life gain deck is a Johnny's Pride Mate. Keep in mind, there are more printings of the old wording than there is the new one, because I think there's only 1 or maybe 2 printings of the new one. The word may is not in there any longer. It's a mandatory thing. You have to do it, which is totally fine. So, if that's the perfect 2-drop, then Angel of Vitality's got to be the perfect 3-drop for the deck, right? I mean, already, just from our starting life total, she's going to come down as a 4/4 flyer that, pluses your life gain for 3 mana. That's really, really kind of sweet. Now, there is a hardcore enchantment theme in the library, in the deck. So I am running, cards like Blessed Spirits, Auramancer. Dawn Elemental really pumps up that devotion, right? But Heliod, it's got Heliod in there. I'll pull another Heliod. It also goes right in there with the life gain. Now, I kind of like this deck a little more than I did the Heliod deck that you saw last week. So, Heliod was more of a +1/+1 counter deck, and this is more of a life gain shenanigan deck. So, all set of Life's Bounty. Protection from the color, yeah, okay. I am running Terranika. Now, I am only running Terranika. She's a 2 pips, 3/3. I'll be honest, I needed creatures. Not very inspiring beyond that. Yeah, you saw Heliod, so you know the Triskelions in there. We'll go on and move past it. Loxodon Life Chanter. I've never actually had this card in play yet, so it just feels like that this is an epic effect. It should be 6 to cast, 6 to use, right? I mean, it should get, yeah. Now, Miracle Worker seems like an odd include, I know, but since we are back in Theros, you kind of have to register the fact that enchantments and enchantment style removal is going to be more played. We've already got a lot of, green's got a lot of this creature loses all abilities and is a thing now. As long as it's still a creature, we can use Miracle Worker on it. And it's a weird card not a lot of people run. I had a lot of inspiration, making the creatures bigger. Quarry Colossus doesn't see a lot of play. I love this. You want to talk about burying something. Put target creature in its owner's library beneath the top. Number of planes. You're just getting rid of it. We have the Daybreak Chimera from the new one, because more than likely this is just double white to cast. I mean, our commander is 2 mana that starts off in the command zone, so there's a good chance we can play him on turn 2 if we need to, which means this is our turn 3. So, not bad. Kithkin Rabble. This is incredibly huge. The number of white permanents you control. White permanents, your creatures, enchantments, and we got a lot of enchantments. But let's look at our 4 angels left here. Twilight Shepherd, of course, going to bring everything back when he gets Wrath. Sarah's Guardian, giving them all vigilance. Seraph of the Masses. Whoa, that's a big flyer. We'll show you exactly how big in a minute. And Silver Seraph being the +2 to your team. Now, Mobilization is probably one of the better permanent token generating enchantment. It's not. As I was in the middle of saying that, several others popped in my head, but it's really good. Now, other things like Reverend Hoplight's going to make you some soldiers. Evangel of Heliod's going to make you some soldiers. But check out Sunbond. Enchanted creature has whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. Now, I know it doesn't, it's a heck of a lead-in to 2 cards that don't matter, but with the amount of life gain that we have tied to creatures entering the battlefield, this can get out of hand with a commander damage win, possibly. Do have an Anointed Procession to make all those tokens double, because, let's gain double the life, shall we? I'm going to try out the new Elspeth. Seems very underwhelming to me for commander. No doubt this is probably a house elsewhere, but here, I'll try. We have got Pin and Blade. There's an equipment for you. +1/+1 for each creature you control with all the tokens we are making. Got the Wanderers, our other walker, to prevent, non-combat damage, all those. But Valor in Akros. Valor in Akros, man. Ooh. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, your team gets +1/+1. So, a whole bunch of creatures, if you're getting 4 or 5 at a time, that's a bunch. Let's go through the usual ramp and or draw. We have Vessel of the Endless Rest, because that may matter, right? Getting rid of that 1 card, it may matter. Pristine Talisman is perfect because it gains us life, and that triggers so much. Herald of the Pantheon does the life gain, the colored mana, the increase. Yeah, it's so good. Birth of Meletus, while not technically ramp, and I'll admit, just the getting the basic planes to your hand, it intrigued me for this deck, but it was the gain 2 life at the end, while kind of inconsequential, it kind of fit the theme. Enchantments that... Then we have Prismatic Lens. Donated, of course, by Mr. Danny Mason. Thank you very much, Danny. 2 mana rock's hard to come by for me. I use them. I love them. And most of the time I have to resort to 3-drop mana rocks, because they're way more plentiful. And they're not as dried up out there, well, at least in the local scene. I know it's got to be hard, and I do want to take a minute because I don't think I've ever addressed it. I need to apologize to all of our local players who are trying to build commander decks, because there are certain cards in this geographic area that are just not available, and I know it's because of me. I do. this is the place where cards go to die or to retire. Because effectively, if they're in this room, they are not on the market. So, thank y'all so much for understanding. But anyway, card drawing. So we got our Well of Lost Dreams. It's a decent card. I mean, it does cost you some mana, but we're playing mono white. That's our lot in life. Tower of Fortunes. Cheap to cast. Ooh, big to use, but you got that mana, and 8 mana is not really hard to come by in our format, even for mono white. So, we are, there's a slight enchantment sub theme because, it's Theros, right? So, tutoring up 2 enchantments is not bad. Now it's 6 mana. Yeah, I get it. Karametra's Fate, Karametra's Blessing. Hexproof, indestructible, +2/+2 if it's enchanted or an enchantment. So, if it's Heliod or Daxos, automatically it's awesome. Crystal Chimes is going to go get back any of those enchantments that we need to get back. Ghostly Prison and Aura Silence are both going to, save us a little bit. Armament of Nyx. Double strike as long as it's an enchantment. Sign me up. Blessing. Now, Blessing doesn't see a lot of love, but in this deck, it's 2 white pips, and that's it. But from then on, not only does it make Daxos and I guess by default Heliod bigger just by existing, it's got the pump ability on it, so that's kind of sweet. All It Glitters, I'm telling you, it's a great card, and I'm probably about out of it. Acolyte's Reward. Prevent the next X damage, but it's to target creature only. But then deals that much damage to target creature or player. So your devotion to white in this deck is going to be probably pretty good. Flicker of Fate. I really like this. Flicker just got it blinked out a creature, but this does the creature or enchantment. I don't know if strictly better is the right word, but this is a common, and that Flicker was a rare. Although Flicker was the very first time we saw that ability, so What about some removal? Here, we can cover our 2 non-basics. We have Rogue's Passage and Field of Ruin. I'm so glad that they reprinted Field of Ruin in this set. I was obviously out because I hadn't run it forever. And in like 1-color and 2-color decks, Field of Ruin, there's almost no cost to play it. It enters play untapped. After a certain point, you don't really need the colored pips anyway. But it does protect you against, if nothing else, other people's Rogue's Passages, right? Look at some removal. I guess let's look at our enchantment removal, quote unquote. Pacifism, Suppression Bonds, Banishing Light, Stasis Snare. And that's it for the enchantment removal. But I want to talk about creature enchantment removal. Soltari Visionary, I think, just got way better. Theros made this card insane. Shadow, this creature can only be blocked by creatures with Shadow. Yeah, you can't block with it either, but you know what? Or you can't block non-Shadow with it. But there's a good chance this guy is never untapped, right? You are constantly swinging with Soltari Visionary. The proliferation of enchantments out there right now or that Theros gave us, is just, destroy target enchantment when it combat damages. That's a beautiful thing. And some of the best evasion that's ever been. Okay, we have things like Erase. Gotta have that, right? Disenchant. Take Vengeance. I wish that was an instant. Revoke Existence. Exile. Now, Exile, being a card that it used to be removed from the game, and removed from the game was not entirely accurate because it was still in the game. It was kind of a little bit confusing if you sat down and thought about it. We really didn't. If you didn't put too much think into it, well, it's removed from the game. But Exile is what actually gave the Exile Zone its name. When they finally decided to rename it, they chose Exile. And it's not a bad card either. We got Ravnica at War because multicolor is popular. And our last card is Shatter the Sky. Now, it's a 4-mana board wipe. Yes, it does let them regenerate. It's everybody's probably drawing a card off of it. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. If Heliod's online, we don't care. This is wipe the board and then draw a card, or we'll draw a card then wipe the board. But yeah, it's I kind of like it. It does have its uses now. It's probably not every deck, but it's been a long time since they've given us a 4-mana board wipe, and I'll take it. That is it for Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. I kind of, I kind of like that one. The whole life gainy token thing is pretty neat. So we're going to go ahead and put this up on the wall. This is 5:36 that's done. This block is filling up quick. I think in the month of January, what have I done? 20-something decks? That's pretty strong. That's a lot of decks. I tried to do one a day, but there was that day or two window in there in between to where I was so busy, opening boxes and building decks, and it happens, I guess. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.